Keynote. So we've had a great day of a lot of focus on AI and ChatGPT and kind of the nursing tools and orientation to that world. So I think everyone's really excited for this talk. And yeah, just thanks again for taking the time out of your busy day and life. And we're very excited to have you. So it's like you got your slides up. Jeff and I will just, go on mute, and there is a Q&A area. So, I encourage everybody to put questions in there throughout the talk, and then we can save, 10 minutes or so at the end for those. But yeah, without further ado, we have Mohammed Abdi. He's an advisor for ShadowNurse on the AI and ML side. So we are grateful to have his contributions for that, and just a wealth of knowledge in this space. So I'll give him the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olivia. You can see my slide, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. As introduced, my name is Mohammed, and I'm an AI engineer with experience in applying AI and ML technologies in various industries, including healthcare. So why is this topic important? AI is already revolutionizing healthcare, from diagnostics to patient care, and nurses will play a very crucial role in shaping its impact. So my goal today is to inspire you to think critically about AI and ML in your profession and how it can enhance rather than replace the work you do. So we'll cover what AI and ML in general is. I think there was a session about that before, but just generally what AI and ML is, and its brief role in healthcare, how AI is used in nursing and telemedicine, and we'll have some real-world case studies and challenges that AI imposes in the healthcare industry, as well as the future of AI in healthcare. So first, AI and ML in healthcare today. So what is AI, right? So at its core, AI consists of just broad areas, right? Machine learning, deep learning, and NLP, or natural language processing. So machine learning is just algorithms that can learn from data to make predictions. So you feed in data. From that data, it categorizes the data into different functions. And based upon that, when there is a new set of data that is not labeled, it will tell you what that specific data should be labeled as. So that's machine learning in a short form. And deep learning it's more advanced algorithms mimicking human neural networks for complex tasks, right? So how our brain works is like our brain works in levels. So there's different levels in our brain. For example, a baby learns shapes, and then eventually you learn letters, and then words, and then you make sentences, and then you can do a complete speech. So that's how our brain works. And deep learning basically mimics how our brain works. And then the last one is NLP, which is natural language processing. As its name indicates, it's basically one of AI's ability to understand text and speech. So as humans understand text and speech, for a computer system to understand text and speech is a very complex task. So when we think about NLP, we can think about chatbots or transcription tools, right? So currently, AI is being used in various places. For example, we can give an example like diagnostics, right? So there are AI-powered tools for radiology or pathology or early disease detection. I'll give you more detailed examples when we have case studies later on. But that's one of the areas that AI can help or is actually helping right now. Another one is predictive analytics, which is AI models that can anticipate medical issues before they escalate. This is basically by studying what has happened so far and what could happen in the future. And another one is personalized treatment plans. So there's AI-driven drug recommendation, so tailored to a specific patient's condition. And another example that I could give you guys is administrative automation, which is just reducing paperwork in the healthcare industry by using AI-supported documentation and EHR automation. So, for example, a study by the Mayo Clinic found that the AI-assisted radiology tools can improve cancer detection rates by over 30%. So this is a huge number. So AI can assist us instead of just replacing human beings, basically. I personally believe AI can never replace human beings fully, but they can, in general, assist and make our lives better. And we can talk about that more in detail as we go on. So this kind of improvements can make a huge difference in early diagnostics and treatment as well. So specifically, when we talk about AI in nursing, so how does AI impact nursing in general, right? So rather than replacing nurses, AI is designed to assist and augment care delivery. So examples include AI-powered triage systems, so directing patients to the right level of care using AI, to better assist patients as well as nurses as well. Virtual nursing assistants, right? Helping with it can be medication reminders or symptoms monitoring. So AI can assist with that. And AI enhanced monitoring tools that can track patients' vitals and alert nurses to whenever there's a potential concern that comes up. So these are some of the examples that AI can assist in specifically in nursing. So one specific example in AI intensive care units or ICUs where AI continuously monitors patients for early signs of deterioration, giving nurses more time to intervene before a crisis occurs, right? So as you can see, like on all these scenarios, AI can enhance the advancements of basically helping nurses as well as patients as well. Another area that AI is big right now is in telemedicine, right? Or remote healthcare, which we are all aware of by now, potentially. So telemedicine has been a massive growth, right? Especially due to COVID-19. And AI plays a key role in making remote care more efficient. So, for example, some of the key AI applications in telemedicine and remote healthcare we can mention include virtual health assistants that help patients schedule appointments and manage symptoms instead of nurses directly being involved with patients. That can be handled by AI. And then once the appointment is scheduled, then the patient can directly talk with the nurse. And then that as well can take and manage symptoms that that the patient has beforehand and pass that information to the nurse before the call has started. Another one is AI-supported remote patient monitoring using wearable devices. The patient can wear these devices. Nowadays, we have multiple devices that you can wear that track your health. And those devices come with AI built in. So if there's any change in trend or anything like that, then that information can be relied to the nurse or the doctor. Another one that we can mention is AI-driven diagnostics that analyze medical images and lab results remotely. So this specifically is very important because there's a lot of medical imaging information that we already have in stock that has been taken for a long time. So AI can analyze these images beforehand and compare it to previous images and come up with some recommendations before the tech actually looks at the images. Another one that we can mention is AI-enhanced clinical decision-making for healthcare providers. For a practical example that we can mention on this one is AI-powered remote monitoring systems, which can detect, for example, irregular heart rhythms or notify doctors in real time, reducing the emergency visits and improving patients' outcomes. So these are all examples that we can mention on how AI can specifically enhance in telemedicine and remote healthcare. So now we could talk a little bit about some actual case studies in AI and telehealth. So looking at some real world examples of AI in telemedicine. So we mentioned AI-powered chatbots. Chatbots are big right now with AI in different industries. Chatbots are basically systems that can learn in real time as interacts with the user. And through time, that chatbot can understand, can be very specific to the user and can answer questions. And it can be as basic or as advanced as the industry or that specific scenario. So, for example, this help, for example, triage patients before even telehealth starts or the visit starts. So this improves, for example, efficiency, right? Before the call starts with the nurse or the doctor, and the nurse or the doctor is trying to figure out what symptoms the patient has. The patient can interact with this AI-powered chatbots, and the chatbots can ask follow-up questions. And before the call starts, the doctor or the nurse has detailed information about the symptoms from the patient, and that information can be relayed to the doctor or the nurse, and this improves efficiency as you can imagine. And we've mentioned about wearable devices, right? For example, we can talk about smartwatches, just simply detecting heart rate irregularities. I think nowadays people around the world are using these smartwatches, and most of the smartwatches have built-in heart rate monitor. And on top of that, when AI is built into that, AI can alert patients. So depending on how long the patient is, wearing the wearables or the smartwatch, if there's any irregularities in the heartbeat, then the doctors or the nurses can be notified in real time. So you can think as if, for example, this can potentially reduce cardiac conditions and being admitted to the hospital in emergency conditions. The third one is AI-driven mental health chatbots. So there's a lot of apps or chatbots out there for this specific case study that we're mentioning. This chatbots are AI supported, so you can think of it as like a therapy chatbot, right? Or an emotional support. So, going through a specific treatment, if there is any support emotionally that the patient needs, then this chatbot can be recommended. And the chatbot is 24/7. You can talk to it, and eventually, if there is anything alarming, that information can be relayed to the nurses or the doctors as well. Another case study is AI-assisted stroke detection. So AI systems can analyze this CT scans and identify strokes faster than human radiologists, so reducing time to treatment. And on top of that, if there's any requirement for a human radiologist to be involved, then that can be also in place. So this AI systems are very helpful. The first thing is they're advanced and they're very specific to that niche, right? And then the second thing is they're available 24/7, so they can assist nurses or doctors, or in the specific case, radiologists, in efficiently reducing time to the treatment, or sort of enhancing the treatment care. And I can give you a specific example of a project that I was involved in called Cognizant. So this is it's AI for disease detection through smell. So this is one of the projects that I was involved in. You can see it as an electronic nose that uses AI or ML to identify substances by smell. So this specifically, it's not only applied in the healthcare scenario, but mentioning the healthcare aspect of this project. For example, there's complexity when it comes to smell, right? Like human smell and, for example, dog smell is even like very far apart, right? As we know, so dogs can detect bones and all that, and their smell is very advanced. But human smell is very, very advanced as well. And what we did in this project is we tried to mimic human smell, and then on top of that, try to reach to the level of the dog smell. So the complex chemistry behind smell is we used metal oxide sensing, so sensors that attach metal oxide smells to a metal oxide sensor, and then using this unique smell signatures or order patterns. So the encoding of that smell is identified using AI after training, right? So that's the whole point. So it was data. So there's a lot of data that needs to be collected. So this is pure machine learning. So data from the sensors is mapped to a specific scale. And from that, when multiple sensors are combined together, it creates a unique fingerprint. And for that specific unique fingerprint, for example, you can think of it as, different things have different smells. And the reason that it's giving a different smell is chemically, we can have a signature for that specific smell. So after training the machine learning model, the AI with that specific data or unique fingerprint for that smell, the electronic nose or the Cognizant machine, it's called EVA, Electronic Volatile Analyzer, can detect in the future if there's a new smell that it never smelled before, and it's trained on, it can tell you that, okay, this smell is this, right? So my team built this data sets and algorithms to leverage this technology. And one major application that we explored was detecting diseases such as the COVID-19. That was the time that this project was being worked on in research. And so COVID-19 by smelling saliva samples. So just by smelling saliva samples, it could tell you that, okay, this person has potentially COVID or not. Or for example, UTI infections as well. So we probably can know how long it takes to detect UTI infections in real time. And this electronic nose machine could do it at that time in less than 90 seconds, which is huge, right? So this machine is live, it's trained, it has AI built in, and just by the urine sample, in 90 seconds, it could tell you if this person has potentially UTI infections or not, or COVID-19 samples. So this is, for example, one example of how AI can be utilized in the healthcare industry, and you can imagine how it can help patients as well as nurses or doctors, anybody involved in that scenario. So this technology, for example, holds immense potential for point of care facilities where infected patients could be treated with targeted antibiotic regimens, ensuring effective outcomes and preventing antibiotic resistance. So a growing public health concern, right? So instead of waiting days or weeks for results to come back, it can be detected right away, and they can be treated right away as well. AI is nice and all, and we're in the thick of it, right now. And AI is advancing every single day, and our learning is, enhancing as well. So I like to think of it as like, when first the internet started, right? Everybody was, at the early stages of innovation. Most people were trying to catch up, and some people, and the majority part didn't know what the internet was. So I feel like we're at that specific time when it comes to AI, and with all the amazing things that AI brings, AI has its own challenges as well. Mostly in the ethical side of things. So when you specifically see the research side of AI, there's a lot of advancements when it comes to AI that we see, that the majority sees, or that we don't see, because there's a lot of research that needs to be done in the ethical side of things. Um, so this challenges needs to be addressed for the majority, right? AI is advancing in a very, very fast paced, and just because we can implement AI doesn't mean that we can, we fully understand AI, right? Because AI is not traditional computing. You don't write code for every specific little thing. Yeah, you can bound it, but you can't limit on how or what AI can learn. So one of the biggest challenges in AI is bias in AI models. Um, which is huge, right? So depending on what AI is being trained on, it can have bias on the systems, or reflects existing biases in healthcare data, leading to disparities. Another one is data privacy and security, which is always huge when it comes to something innovative. So AI-driven healthcare must ensure patient data is protected. It's a huge challenge because a lot of data being shared across different systems, and the data needs to be protected at all times. The third challenge is legal and regulatory issues. So compliance with like HIPAA and FDA and global regulations is very important, because all this data is moving from system to system, and each system needs to understand legally how this data can be controlled. And one of the biggest other ones is the human element of AI as well, right? So AI should be used to enhance and not replace human judgment and compassion, right? That's a huge thing. Compassion is a huge thing when it comes to communication between human beings. And if humans are interacting with AI systems, AI agents, chatbots, then that needs to be relied, and human judgment needs to come first before the judgment of AI. So AI should just assist and not replace human judgment. Um, so, for example, an AI system used in hospitals was found to give lower priority to Black patients for advanced treatments due to biased training data. So, depending on what data is fed to the AI model is going to give its judgment based upon the data that it's seen before. So, if it's a patient that it hasn't seen before, or a data that has not been passed through the system, then AI can have bias against upcoming scenarios that might happen when there's an interaction between a human being and an AI system. So this highlights the importance of ethics or ethical AI development, and which there's a lot of research that's currently being done, and which is one of the main reasons that is holding a lot of AI systems from coming out and being utilized in our real world scenarios. In not only healthcare is one of the biggest ones, because the data is very important, it's very private, it needs to be protected, so it's very complex. But it's in a lot of systems and areas and industries, it's the same as well, where this ethical challenges needs to be addressed before the systems are fully used in real world scenarios. Um, so after we talked about all these things, so what is potential future of AI in nursing and telemedicine looking ahead? Um, AI will continue to shape nursing and remote care in exciting ways. Um, Actually, when it comes to healthcare, not only AI, but technological advancements lack a little bit. And I think AI could assist in bringing whatever technology that we have in the current systems, or future systems as well in the healthcare industry. Um, so on top of what we talked about, for example, AI-powered home healthcare, bringing hospital level monitoring to patients at homes, because we talked about, AI systems are available 24/7 and they can learn in advance and have the knowledge that we have on the internet or the research level of things. So we can have potentially an AI-powered home healthcare where we can monitor our health at home. Basically having like hospital level healthcare at home, and whenever it's needed, then we can go to the hospital to get that care. Um, the other one is AI smartphone-based diagnostics. So enabling early disease detection using different type of AI-powered apps. So asking basic questions, advanced questions from the patients, and eventually coming to a decision on some type of diagnostics. And then from there on, a nurse or a doctor can take over that diagnostic and see if that diagnostic is actually a correct one. There is what we call RPA, or robotic process automation, which reduces the administrative burden on nurses by automating any requirement in the hospital that needs robotic care. The last one that we can mention is that I thought about is the nurse AI partnership. So excuse me. So nurses will need to, I believe nurses will need to adapt by developing skills to work alongside AI tools. I say this to any specific industry because we like it or not, AI has a huge potential that people are seeing now, and we're solving different things, small things, in progression. So AI, it's going to be part of many, if not all, industries that we can think of. And healthcare is one of them. So why not expand our knowledge and try to understand at this early or mid-level stages while things are being brewed, eventually, and eventually when we have those AI systems in place, then we have the skills that we need or are required to be working with the AI tools or AI systems, agents, whatever we like to call it. So imagining, a future where AI can predict, an outbreak of some sort of, like, for example, COVID-19 in the future. It can be hours before, weeks before, months before symptoms even appear. So allowing nurses to intervene earlier and save lives. So this is the potential of AI because we have now data to our advantage and we have intelligence, um, human level intelligence that can be utilized 24/7, that we can use our computing powers and we can analyze and we can use that for something that could help humanity. So before I go any further, I'll open up the floor for discussions. How we'll do this is we'll have a poll. I think there's a poll question going on, but I have my own polls specific to what we talked about. Either,
Hey
yeah,
Mo, I just took our poll down. Sorry about that.
no, no worries, no worries. That's good. That's good. But yeah, so I'll just so either you can use your phone and scan the QR code on the slide, or go to menti.com and enter the code shown in blue. And we'll have a total of 4 questions, and we'll roughly give about 2 to 3 minutes for each questions. And as I change the slides, you can add your answers as well for the next question. So this will help us see where our minds are compared to our colleagues. I can open up. Let me see. Okay. So this is the first question. It's just how do you feel about AI in nursing? The options are excited, skeptical, and concerned. And let's just wait about 2 to 3 minutes for I think of about 24 participants, so we can wait a little bit here.
Mo, while you're waiting, I thought maybe just I'd ask a question, and there was another question that came up in the chat.
Yeah,
Um,
go on.
yeah, if that's okay with you, just to fill some time. One question from Esther was, I'd like to know um, basically more about sort of accuracy error within diagnostics and suggested treatments. That's all I've got to go on with the question there. But how are we programming it to pick up on it, identify its own levels of accuracy or error? Does that require humans to do that? And how big of a concern is that when it comes to actually deploying these in treatment situations?
Okay, thank you. So for example, one of the examples that I gave you guys was the um sorry. Yeah, sorry guys. For example, the electronic note system that we talked about, uh, I'm talking about this project that I worked on was like 3+ years ago, and at that time, AI was not as big like right now. But for the studies that we did, the accuracy was 99% plus, which is huge. And this is we're talking about not a lot of data sets, training in-house, collecting data in-house, and all that. So with the current AI models that we have, um, I would say accuracy should not be an issue. Plus, I'm saying this is first thing is AI is very advanced right now, and second thing is AI should assist human beings, right? And not replace in general. So having that type of accuracy is big, first place. And second place is if it's assisting human beings, right? It can always be verified.
That's
Uh,
an interesting point because I think we're always going to be hyper vigilant about accuracy when it comes to a robot, just because we're so not trusting yet. But it's more accurate than we would have gotten otherwise. But we're still going to, people are still going to probably rotate towards being concerned about accuracy, even though it's better than the status quo.
Correct. Yeah. As human beings, always when we have systems that we don't fully understand, and I'm saying we don't fully understand, it's not only the general population, it's also, the innovators of AI, right? As I mentioned, just because we can deploy AI, it doesn't mean that we fully understand it, right? So yeah, it's always being skeptical is good, not trusting things blindly. And, I believe we can fully understand AI, but we can eventually learn how to adapt and how we can use it in real world scenarios. So I think this is the early stages of AI being deployed in various scenarios. And people are okay, as you say, right? Like kind of very skeptical in a lot of things, and it's okay to be skeptical. But I think as we use it and as we see how it enhances our day-to-days, how we can partner with AI, then eventually I think we can see what AI can do in the future. But yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, but as we can see in the poll, right? So, a lot of people are excited about AI, which, we should be because it will save a lot of lives. It will enhance our lives in general. Whether we are nurses, doctors, patients, anybody working in any specific industry, it will enhance our lives in a better way. But, whenever there's a new system, there's always challenges that comes with it. And I think embracing those challenges and understanding on how we could improve it is the best way we could go about it. And some people are skeptical, which we talked about, and which that is okay as well. I'll move on to the next question. The next question is kind of, just the first word that comes to your mind. It can be the first three words, whatever it is, just put it in. What excites you the most about AI, specifically when it comes to AI and nursing? Just add your words here, and we'll wait about 2 to 3 minutes here as well.
It's fun to watch this evolve, Mo. Thanks for putting this together. Another question is, what's the difference, kind of in layperson terms, what's the difference between artificial intelligence and just a computer program? I mean, I understand that maybe that's not even the right way to ask the question, but
Oh,
What
no,
makes
yeah.
AI versus just a program? And I'll give you an example, like for the example of the wristwatch that can pick up on a heart rate or something. If that is just a program that says if it's higher than X value, then do this, versus AI, which I'm imagining is doing something more involved than just hitting a threshold number and doing something.
Yeah, correct. That's actually a very good question, right? So a computer program, you can see it as traditional computing, basically a list of commands that the computer can take, right? So step by step, this is what happens next, this is what happens next. For example, you mentioned a smartwatch, if it's higher than this ratio and just flag it, that's a computer program. But AI understands more than that, right? So for example, when it comes to the heart rate monitoring, right? It understands information or previous research that has been done on, what that specific number means on, previous data that has been taken. It understands if it's trained on, various parts of, different type of like ethnics, different type of people, what that specific number means. And through time, if that evolves as well, and it evolves and it adapts to the user as well. So as the data grows, and as the data is being repeated more, it can understand that data better, if it makes sense. It's not traditional computing saying that, if it's above this specific number, then just flag it, right? So it understands as the data evolves, as the research evolves, as the amount of knowledge that we have, AI can understand as well. So that's the difference between AI and traditional computing. And that's one of the reasons that makes AI powerful at the same time challenging is depending on what data it's being trained on, it can act as well and it can make its own decisions. And it has a lot more complexity when it comes to algorithms as well. So yeah, so it's not traditional computing. No specific code is, written for that specific scenario, saying that if this is this, then do this. There's no that. It's learning through time, depending on the data it's being provided. So yeah, so here we can see that, I think the biggest one is innovation, which makes sense. Opportunity, which is pretty good because it's something new and it's an opportunity for all of us to learn and use it in our day to day. Efficiency is a big one as well, which is pretty good. Uh, Visionary technology, remote work, better patient safety, change. Yeah, it is change and it's going to change a lot of things, but I believe in a good way. There's a lot of professionals in AI that are working on just the ethics part of things, not only now, but years of hard work. So understanding how AI can, work with human beings, and how we can utilize AI without disrupting our lives. So hopefully that change aspect of things can be reduced or the stress can be reduced with the research that we have when it comes to that. Education is huge because there's a lot of things that we need to learn specifically if you don't understand how AI works, what are the AI systems, how are we use technology, because all this is going to be integrated to our day-to-day lives using our smartphones, computer that we use, all that. So education is a huge one. Assisting nursing, improved outcomes, future, burnout reduction. So these are all good. Just take a screenshot. Okay. Next question. So these are our concerns. So we say skeptical. So if you have any concerns, whatever comes to your mind, just drop it here.
Another question, or it was more so a comment, kind of comparing self-driving cars to healthcare in that they're both very high risk and involve patient safe or human safety. And we've gotten so far right now to where we just many of us who are driving cars that have um, driver assist functionality. It's really again, it's kind of seductive how you can kind of easily just kind of allow it to do what it's going to do. And I've seen examples of where the car putting the brakes on has avoided an accident, not in a car that I was in, but I was witnessing it next to me. So we're pretty quick to embrace it in certain situations. And I just wonder if it's just we're going to hit that inflection point and it's just going to take off. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I completely agree with that comment, right? Personally, if you ask me, would I want AI to go any slower? Yes, because there's a lot of things that we still don't understand about AI. But is it gonna go any slower? The answer is no. AI is gonna go faster and faster because we have the technology, and companies are racing on, whose model is gonna be the best, basically, and that's the race. And but the good thing is, as we mentioned, there's a lot of research that is being done on, people are aware, right? What type of data are we going to use? For example, one of the words that is mentioned here is garbage in, garbage out. I think I saw it. That's, whatever data you train it with, it comes out with something, it learns from the data that you put in. But people are aware, right? What kind of data are we going to train it on? What are the risks associated with this? There's a lot of research being done in specific environments, for example, self-driving cars, right? People are training the respective self-driving cars or systems in a very controlled environment, in a real-world environment, and different type of research are being done. For example, if there's a stop sign that has paintings on it, how is that being handled, right? If there are scenarios that the AI system has not seen before, right? What type of judgments is it going to be made? How is that relating to the law, right? All these things, all this is being done. All this research is being done as we speak, which is a good thing, right? And we don't want to be left behind because the world doesn't matter what we think about it, it's going to keep going at the fast pace speed that it is. And the systems are going to be started to be implemented as people feel comfortable on how comfortable they are in that specific system being applied in the real world environment. So it's better to understand those systems than put them to side. If we have any concerns, trying to learn more to see if our concern is really concerning, or is it something that is being done and it's being better and better every day. And it is, right? From 3, 4 years ago, now AI, people can understand AI a little bit more, better. We have better high intelligence AI systems that are the same, if not above human intelligence, which is huge. So all this coming into place shows us that yes, AI systems are going to take time, but eventually they are going to be in place in different industries, and it's better to embrace them and understand them better than put them to side. So that's my take to that comment. But yeah, so really good things have been mentioned here. Um, I think we've touched most of it. But yeah, so it's always good to have concerns when, something new is coming, especially something like this, changing our day-to-days. And I think the remedy to that is, if we are innovators and if we can take part in changing what we can do, then giving our time or whatever knowledge that we have to be in that innovators package. If not, then if we are users, or if we are users in any type of way, right? Then how can we learn, or how can we let our concerns be an input to the system than just being fear? So that is my 2 cents to that. Okay, last one. So how can specifically nurses can shape AI development? in whatever industry we're in, if we don't have a direct contact with AI, most people feel like there's nothing much they can do than just, wait or just try to learn more about AI. But that is not true because um, wherever you are, for example, when we talk about nurses specifically, nurses know a very specific knowledge when it comes to the healthcare industry. So AI needs that information in order to be as advanced or as helpful as it should be. And that knowledge is data. And that data needs to be fed into the AI systems in order to, basically enhance AI. So we need to see AI in that way. And there's a lot of different ways that we can contribute to this, right? There's a lot of researches that are being done in those specific environments where we can provide our knowledge. So AI can understand from us, right? From that specific industry that we're in. Yeah, so participate as one of participators mentioned, help with training AI, utilizing and improving AI. All these are good. Remaining up to date, trying to learn how AI works, if not in some capacity. What are the extremes of AI, right? What can AI do in general, but at the same time, just understanding what is the level of AI right now, right? The level of AI today, it's not the same as how it was beginning of this year. It's not the same as how it was last year. AI is advancing in a very fast-paced environment. So we need to understand where we are with AI. And when it comes to our careers, how can we I think finding AI careers is mentioned. So how can we better ourselves in order to, eventually, if it's not now, then in the near future, how can we use AI together with our careers, and how can we be involved and all that. So I think this are all good. So basically, just the word that I see that sums all this up is just being part of the process, not just sitting on the side just waiting. But first thing is educating yourself and just understanding what AI is and where it is, being up to date. And second thing is, if you can, just be part of the process and addressing those concerns that we have talked about.
Mo, I've got one more question. I know that was your last interactive slide, but a question kind of about maybe it's ethics and legality, and if we're deploying, and maybe we can look to the auto industry for this, but if we're deploying AI in a healthcare sense and an error is made, who gets brought in to the case? I mean, is it the provider? Is it the AI itself? Is it the person who coded the AI? Is it like, are there any examples that you may have heard about or anything like that where there's maybe a lawsuit against a situation where like who gets tagged with the blame if something goes wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think that depends on the industry. I don't have a specific answer on that. I'm in the AI research side of things, so have not been involved in those kind of legality things. But I think that is one of the biggest things that is being figured out as we speak, right? So AI is a system, and legality is a huge thing. And depending on, for example, healthcare is a huge one. Forget AI and having AI systems, just with people, we always have issues when it comes to those things. So yeah, so I think those things needs to be in place, needs to be understood, and has to be one-on-one on what needs to happen if this happens. And I think those are the things that are being figured out as we speak. So the ethics behind things and legality, that's a huge thing for AIs right now. And it will be as we go on, as it's implemented more as well. So I don't have any specific scenarios that I could give you guys, but yeah, so the only thing I could say is those are the things that are being figured out as we speak. And there's a lot of research being done. There's a lot of legal conversations happening, and yeah, which are all good. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you all for contributing your answers to all this. As we can see, it's very empowering. It's very helpful to see what our colleagues think, what we think, and what we can do more as well. So in conclusion, to just wrap it up and just call to action, right? So as we mentioned, AI is a very powerful tool that is transforming healthcare. However, it should always serve to enhance and not to replace human care. So I encourage you all to stay informed about AI advancements in healthcare, and advocate for ethical AI applications, because the more we advocate, the more voice that we have, and AI is not replacing human thought or human judgment in general, and just getting involved in shaping how AI is implemented in nursing. So thank you for your time, and if you have any more questions, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I think we can all agree that that was a fabulous way to end our conference, Mo. So thank you so much. I know Olivia is going to make a comment here as well, but we do have a couple of people who are weighing in on the question and answer feed, just basically saying that they loved the experience and thanking you so much for everything you've done to talk today.
It was good. It was good. Thank you.
Thank you. I loved that. That was really great. You mentioned ethics as kind of like an important emerging field here, and that made me wonder if you have any other adjacent areas or fields that you might predict being a remote nursing job, kind of heavy industry. If we were going to predict, what areas nurses might be looking for jobs, if not right now, but in the next months to year or so, what other adjacent areas that AI will rely on or will come into the spotlight? Do you have any ideas where remote nurses or nurses that want to work remotely should be kind of focusing? If it's not at an AI company necessarily, what other industries is AI really going to be relying on?
I think the two biggest ones that I was thinking about when I was doing all this was the first one is a nurse AI partnership. So I believe this is going to be huge, right? Like chatbots that work with nurses and kind of offline, people can talk to the chatbot, and whenever it's required, that information could go to the nurse, and then they could be connected to the human being. So the nurses needs to work hand in hand with the AI, understand how the information works, how that is relayed, how questions are asked, and all that. So nurse AI partnership is a huge one. The other one that we mentioned was the AI powered home healthcare. So having like healthcare in the house where people can ask their questions, do all these things, and even if you're not receiving care, just to general public. But then I'm almost 100% sure that those home healthcare AI systems are going to have some type of backlog system that is connected to a nurse, right? A nurse line or something like that. It can be a home in-home healthcare or telemedicine or all that. So I think keeping an eye on all this mostly remote stuff that AI can help. I think these are the early ones that I could think of. But yeah, so basically just having some type of partnership between AI and a nurse and understanding how that works is a big one.
Excellent. Thank you. Jeff, any other questions in the chat or?
None that I see jumping out at me here. Let me just take one more look. No, I guess I do have one more quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it really has to do with if somebody wanted to participate more in helping develop AI, what do they do? Just call up IBM or go drop in at Stanford or try to, how would somebody even approach, like, search on LinkedIn? I mean, how does that connection happen?
I should probably would have come up with some, but I didn't think about that. But that's a good point. As we talked about, the first thing is being knowledgeable in AI and just understanding. I don't think most people understand where AI is today, right? What AI systems do we have? Even if you don't understand how the algorithms work, just generally, what are the big top 3 AI models that are out there? And what are the differences, right? So that's a huge one because now when you start getting, everybody knows about ChatGPT, but not about specifically ChatGPT, but what's the model behind it? And what makes ChatGPT, right? So what are the top 3 models that what makes them powerful? That's a big one that we could do. And the second one is I think you have to do the homework and search. There's a lot of researchers out there that people actually want inputs, right? Because AI is all about data, and where do we get the data? From the people themselves, right? And nursing is a huge one because there's a lot of knowledge in nursing. So how can we contribute to that, right? What type of knowledge can we pass along and, the long career that we had. So just finding those, specific researches and providing our data, whatever time that it requires, I think that would be very helpful for AI. And, you never know where your data is going to end up and what system is going to train if the ethics is good behind it. So just doing the homework on those things, it's very good. And if not that, then just understanding what are the big models right now, and just being up to date on those things.
Great. Here's a little bit more advanced question. We've heard about AI models being built off of AI generated models. Maybe I hope I'm asking that the right way, but is that so basically like an AI generating a fake set of data that another one trains off of. And is that something that
Yeah.
is a solution that makes sense, or is that more dangerous, compounding errors on top of errors? Or
Yeah. So that, for example, that we avoid because it's not a real data set. It's not a data set that we want from a real world scenario. And depending on what type of data we're generating from that, it could be dangerous. So, this AI models that we're using, who is training them is very important. How are they trained is very important. And it has to be from a trusted source, right? We can't just take a model that we don't know where the training happened, right? For example, in IBM, we have a huge model that we call, governance data. So we're huge on data, and we're huge on governance, right? So when we say governance, how is that data being governed, right? And how can we avoid all this bias that we can talk about? So when you train these models, you don't just pick up data sets and just train it with every single data set that comes to mind. There's a lot of cleaning up that you do. There's a lot of analysis that you do on where the data is coming from and how it's being trained and how it's being used. So before the AI, this system, this process of we call it a pre-processing step is very, very important, more than the AI itself, because the AI spits out whatever it learns. And it's like, I think you can think of it as like a baby, depending on which household, what type of parents it's being raised, you get some type of product, right? So not the baby, not the mind itself, but the environment, the nurturing that the baby gets is very important. So you have to understand all these things.
I love it. Thank you for that. Okay, well, that was amazing. We're going to wrap up, and lots of thanks to Mo for that. And we're looking forward to what else comes out of your research in the near future here. We'll stay tuned. So thank you. And for everybody else, if you want, we're going to open up the last wrap up room. We'll just do a quick goodbye, probably over there, if anybody wants to join and send comments or things like that. Otherwise, we won't keep you from other afternoon activities you might be interested in. So thanks again, Mo. We appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, you guys.
Thank you.